welcome to the Farg Motor Pool. Today we'll be looking at the starting sequence for the AMX13 with the petrol engine. We're going to use the manual here, and then there will be a subsequent video in which we will actually sit in the vehicle itself and show you it happening live. Okay, so to start with, this is the driving position in the AMX13, both for the tank and the armoured personnel carrier. Once you get into this driving position, the seat is here. These are what are known as the tillers. There are 3 pedals across the bottom, accelerator over here, brake and clutch. There is a dashboard, and behind you here is the power control lever. Once entering into the vehicle, we need to firstly activate this by pushing it up and therefore bringing the electrical circuit into play on the tank. This is indicated also by a red light that comes on just up here by the hatch of the driver, so you know that the ignition system is ready to be turned on. You then prime the petrol engine with the fuel pump here, and you do this multiple times, pushing this lever up and down until you can actually hear the fuel being pumped through to the carburetors in the engine. When you feel you are ready to start the engine, you then depress the clutch. You ensure that this here, which is the gear change lever, is in neutral position, and then you check electrics are live. That's these 3 switches here that should be in the normal or on position. There is another switch that we go to here which engages the magnetos, and we'll go through that on a subsequent page in a second. And then the magic button is this one right here, which is the start button. Here we are now looking at the dashboard. We're in the seated position. We've turned on the electrical master switch. We've engaged the clutch, moved the gear stick into the neutral position, which means that you can actually push this gear stick in and out quite easily. It's not in one of the gates for any of the gears. And then we've checked that these 3 switches here are in the on position or normal position. We're then moving this control lever from the off to the on position, and to move this you need to depress this button above, which basically allows this lever to be moved. So we've got it into this second marking here. We then go back and press this, which is the starter button. Now, in extremely cold weather, you may wish to add choke. I have noticed on some of the tanks that I've owned, the chokes are sometimes attached and sometimes not. So if you have a choke that is attached and you wish to use it, then it's this very strange pictured button here. This needs to be pulled out and that will give you choke. So of course, pressing the button until the engine engages, and then obviously letting go of this button, and then pushing that choke slowly back in until a comfortable running speed has been achieved. To actually drive the vehicle, you depress the clutch, which is down here. You're moving this gear stick into a desired position. There's 3 settings here. There's push completely forward and in, a mid position, and then an out position. Once you're in each of these, you can click upwards or downwards to engage each of these gears. And if you look at this little plaque here, you can actually see quite clearly where those gears are placed. Releasing the clutch will then drive the motor forward, and you're looking to steer it with the inside tillers. Once you've finished driving the vehicle and you wish to bring it to a halt, you obviously brake it. You're placing this gear stick back into neutral again, and we're merely going over to this switch and turning it from the on to the off position. To do that again, you need to depress this button here. That should bring the vehicle to a halt and stop the engine. If for any reason the engine does not stop when this is turned across, then there is actually an emergency cut-off switch that is behind the driver that can be depressed, or I believe it might actually be pulled out. No, it is depressed. You press that in and that will earth the magnetos and definitely stop the engine for you.